Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the official Nerd Talk channel. My name is Tyler, aka Mind of a Nerd, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Kevin and two special guests tonight, Luke Ponto and Mike, also known as Mike's Reviews and Analysis. And we are here tonight on episode 113
Shit.
to do a Furiosa spoiler talk, one of the most anticipated movies of the year. We will also be covering the latest news and trailers from throughout the week. Sorry about the delay. Life was lifing, but we're live now, and that's what matters. We're all good and we're ready to go. What is going on, everybody? How was your days?
Yeah, just another day at work for me.
I can't say that because I went into work and I found out two of my managers got fired. So,
Whoa.
oh
man,
yeah.
Corporate got to them.
It sure seems like it.
Target is fun, but yeah. Other than that, it was actually a pretty good day, all things considered. But yeah, walking into work and finding out that two of your bosses got fired was like, oh wow. Okay, good morning to you too.
I actually have a funny story. I remember when I walked into work one morning. It was at my last job. I walked into work one morning, and then I realized that one of the managers turned in a 2-week notice because he got in a fight with one of the other workers.
Oh, damn!
And I was like, well, I didn't even like one of those managers, so I was like, good. I'm glad he's quitting because I didn't even like him.
That's exactly how I feel.
Because believe me, sometimes I have to deal with workers I don't like, and then whenever they quit, I'm just like, thank all things holy.
Yeah, I mean, I had an okay day. Just finals for school, and then one of my teachers for finals just had everyone submit early, and then today during the final period we had like a giant ass breakfast. So that was like second hour in the morning, so that wasn't too bad.
Dope.
Food is always good.
Mm-hmm.
Food is always good.
Big ass pancakes, chocolate milk, bussing.
Do some of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to know you guys had a good day. It's always good when we have a good day. Yeah. But now let's get into tonight's show. We have one piece of news, two trailers, and a movie to talk about. And this news literally dropped 2 hours ago, and I knew something always drops right before we go live. And I'm very happy about this particular piece of news. It has been announced that Mike Flanagan is directing a new film in the Exorcist franchise.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
So for those who don't know, Mike Flanagan is one of the best minds of horror. He directed Oculus, which I'm not big on, but I see the vision. He did Ouija 2, Origin of Evil, which I thought was pretty creepy. It's not high art, but I think it's pretty creepy.
It's creepy.
Dr. Sleep, I thought was a good movie until the third act. I don't love the third act of that movie, but the first 2 acts are phenomenal. Like, that's masterclass in my opinion. I have not watched his Netflix shows, but I've heard they are phenomenal. I will get to those eventually.
Man's got like 5 of them on there now, so there's a lot to catch up on.
But the point is, when I see his name attached, immediately I'm interested. And a while ago, we were hearing these rumors about The Exorcist. For those who don't know, Exorcist Believer released in October of 2023 last year, to the result of pretty much everybody hating it. I thought it was fine. I didn't really hate it, but most people did not like it. And this was the first movie of a planned trilogy. And immediately those plans went up in smoke because David Gordon Green was like, I'm out. I'm not doing this. And there were rumors circling that Mike Flanagan was going to pick this up and keep it going. And I was like, well, I mean, fuck yeah, that's a great idea. And we got this news today confirming this, but it doesn't seem like they're going to be continuing off of Believer. It seems like it's just going to be its own thing.
And praise the Lord for that.
Which I am I am okay with that because my one big negative walking out of that movie was that I didn't think it needed to be a trilogy at all. I didn't see how they were going to continue that story in two more movies. I I had pitched them doing an anthology style type thing. And hearing that it's not going to continue off of that, it's going to take it in a new direction, I think is a very smart idea because I just didn't really see that happening, you know. And most people, if you say the words, "Oh, this is a sequel to Exorcist Believer," they're like, "I'm not watching that."
Mhm.
But if you say, "Oh, it's an original Exorcist movie directed by Mike Flanagan," take
Yeah,
my
that's
Yeah.
take
that's an instant ticket buy. Like,
take
Mhm.
the kids, the cat, the dog, the goldfish, everything, bro.
Take my wallet.
Um, so in terms of my actual reaction to this, I'm beyond the word ecstatic. Like literally, there is very few new pieces of news that can get a genuine out loud reaction to me. I saw this pop up on my phone. I said, "Oh, bro." I got flashbacks. I got flashbacks to when they announced Hugh Jackman was coming back as Wolverine when I
Mhm.
was at work. When I literally audibly said, "What the fuck," you know. But I'm very excited for this, and in the words of a great man, let him cook. That's all I'm gonna
Yes.
say about that.
yes.
Cook.
We're gonna go this way because this ape has not seen any of this stuff yet. So, Luke, what are your
I've seen one person from the. I've seen one movie from this director.
Just one.
what are your
I
thoughts on
am.
this announcement?
Well, I think
As someone who's very ill versed on this franchise, sorry, I didn't know.
that's fine.
It's I always enjoy a good movie from this director. I personally liked the final act to Doctor Sleep, in my opinion. So I can't really say that I wouldn't be not excited for this. So yeah, that was just brief thoughts. I'm pretty excited to see it, especially something that's not connected to Believer, which I haven't seen, mainly due to the fact that I was warned by Tyler not to have seen this movie.
No, I didn't.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
I like the movie, bro.
I thought you said it was bad. I did not
No,
remember you saying
I
it
gave
was
it
a
a
good
I
movie.
gave it a 4 out of 5, sir.
I did not remember you saying it was a good movie.
I gave that movie a 4 out of 5, and I
Listen,
own it on 4K, bro.
I bought it
Alright.
when the steelbook was like $10 on 4K, but I didn't buy it full price.
Same
It's
here.
not worth it. It ain't worth it.
I don't think I
No.
did either. I think I bought it for like 18.
That's not too bad.
Mike,
Oh,
what are your thoughts on this?
I love Mike Flanagan. I have yet to see his shows, just like you, Tyler, and this definitely sparked interest for me because I wasn't really looking forward to Deceiver when David Gordon Green backed out. I was like, okay, maybe this could be a little bit better now that he's out. And now that they've completely scrapped the idea of doing Deceiver, I am hype as all get out for this. So yeah, I love his previous movies as well. Well, I don't love Oculus or Ouija, but I adore Doctor Sleep. That movie is phenomenal. So yeah, that's about it.
Mr. Ponto.
I am a big fan of Mike Flanagan. I actually have seen one of his shows. I've seen The Haunting of Hill House, and that show is chef's kiss. I pretty much love all of his films that he's made that I've seen. Oculus, Ouija 2, and Doctor Sleep. I love all those movies. And as you guys may know, I was not a fan of Believer whatsoever. I was not a fan. But hearing that Mike Flanagan is going to do something completely different with this, I was like, good. Because after how Believer turned out for me, I was like, I don't care about this. Like, if they're going to turn this into a trilogy, I just don't care.
Yeah,
But
that's an unfortunate and bizarre trend with horror is, oh, you want to make a horror movie? Oh, that's cool, but you got to give me 3, not 1.
Fingers
They
after one.
Yeah. Yep.
The Strangers. They just announced that apparently Scream 7 is going to be the start of a new trilogy. It's like,
Good
bro,
lord.
just make one.
Just,
Just,
here's the thing. Here's the thing about horror. If you make one and it's like both critically and financially successful, then you can worry about making a sequel. Don't
I
try to
mean,
put the cart above the horse right away.
movies being financially successful in the year 2024 does not matter.
Bingo.
I raised the
know, but
movie that we're going to talk
but
about today.
I'm just saying though, like just think about like the critical response before you decide to make
Yeah.
another one. Like,
But yeah, I'm very very excited for this, and I hope Blumhouse doesn't Blumhouse this. I hope they just let them let them cook, and I think they will, because I think Ouija was Blumhouse, the one that he did, and
yes.
that was
Yeah.
pretty good. So I'm excited. I hope this comes to fruition. I hope they get a nice little cast in there, and I'm ready to see what he does. If you guys are interested in this new movie directed by Mike Flanagan from the Exorcist franchise, let us know down below. Are you excited, or did Believer kick you in the nuts so hard that you don't want to see another movie from this franchise? I don't blame you. I barely wanted to see Believer. But anyway, moving on to our first trailer of the evening, Moana 2 trailer 1 thoughts. So it was announced this year that a sequel to Moana was happening and coming out at the end of the year, and they confirmed that this was originally the TV show that they were doing on Disney Plus, and they decided to take that show and make it a movie and release it in theaters, which that idea sounds horrible, but we will see how the final result ends up. We got a trailer. It was like a 40-second teaser showing off the animation a little bit. That was pretty neat. And this is basically another teaser, but we do have more context as to what the movie's going to be about. We found essentially what it seems like is that Moana is trying to unite all the tribes in the kingdom or island, wherever they're roaming around.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's gonna be more stuff under the surface there.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, I love the first Moana. That's top 10 Disney for me. That is like
amazing.
peak. And so hearing that there was going to be a sequel, no matter how rushed or out of nowhere it was, I was like, bro, I'm gonna be there day one. That's my movie. That's my movie. As for the trailer, I thought it was a pretty good trailer. Right off the bat, the animation is out of this world, stunning. Inside Out 2 looks really good with the animation, but this looks like the best animation visually they've done in a long while. And the crazy thing is, this was gonna be a show. Like, imagine a show on Disney Plus looking this good.
Right. I don't think they started animating it when they had it as planned as the show. I think they just wrote it out as a show, but yeah.
The idea of her uniting the kingdoms, I feel like that's kind of a weird idea, because I feel like the kingdoms would be united after the first movie. It's like they brought back the girl, I forgot her name, the nature lady. Like they restored peace and all that. It's like, why wouldn't the kingdoms be united? I don't know. Maybe a kingdom's gonna be like, oh, you guys have Maui, and Maui is kind of an asshole, But it looks good. I do want to see another trailer to actually, get into the meat of what this movie's gonna be. I want to hear the songs. But it looks pretty cool to me, Kevin.
I am not shocked that this was turned into a movie after we heard, I think it was more specifically last year, that Moana was like the biggest streamed movie on Disney Plus.
Really? I didn't know that.
I don't know if it was last year or it could be 2022, but I just know at 1 year they were like, even like years later, this was still the biggest movie on Disney Plus.
I mean,
So, like,
it is, in my opinion, Moana is the best. It's this and Encanto. They're like right there for me. Like that is the best thing that they've done in a while. Like when I walked out of Encanto, I was like, that's the best thing they've done since Moana. So, in my honest opinion, I think that they're like, I can understand why
Yeah.
that's like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess it's bloomed into a big franchise that everybody that I don't even think Disney saw coming in. I think that's why they turned it from a show to a movie because I think they're just like, well, this franchise just turned into a lot bigger. This movie turned a lot bigger than we thought it would, even back when it first came out.
I think the first one made $1 billion though, right?
It did, but I think it kind of had like a natural die off where they were just like, oh yeah, we didn't like even now people are still watching it. You know, like I don't know how much Frozen would still be up and about now. You know, compared to Moana.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, the trailer looks awesome. Absolutely loved it. I saw it a second time because I was just like, this feels like just like, oh yeah, we're gonna show off the animation, we're gonna show off how it looks, and it will give you another proper trailer showing off the story, which it still did that, but I kind of understood it better as far as like what they were trying to show us. I do like all the different. It feels like we're going back to all the different places that we went to in the first movie, like that little monkey kingdom. Except now it also cut into like this weird creature that was cut open, but it seemed like it was an island. I don't know if I saw that correctly.
Yeah, I only
I
watched
can't wait
the
for it.
trailer once.
As much as I think this movie is going to succeed, hopefully this will teach Disney to not give us a live action of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to do that. If this movie succeeds, that's going to make them want to do it even more.
I know. It's the unfortunate thing because I know this movie is just going to make bank this year.
Come on, let's hope this movie sucks and it bombs. Come on.
I can't say that. I want this movie to succeed. I really love the first movie, so yeah, this trailer looks awesome, and I can't wait to see what they have in store. Hopefully, it doesn't. Hopefully, I should say with the TV thing, it doesn't feel like it was just like a TV show cramped into a movie,
Mm-hmm.
but instead like a TV show that kind of like adapted itself into a movie. It depends on how they worked it out. But if this is part of Iger's new, oh yeah, we're gonna switch things up at Disney as far as how we tell stories. Hopefully, this will prove some of us wrong. But again, they don't have a good track record as of late to give me that faith.
Yeah.
Like,
I hate to be the party pooper, but like I really don't care. Modern Disney is just not really my thing. This looked fine. I like the first Moana enough. I don't know. Like nothing has come close to 90s for me and like 2000s Pixar. But yeah, I don't know. It looks okay.
Not even
really
Encanto?
No, I really don't care for Encanto, honestly.
The Encanto slander will not be tolerated in the Nerd Talk.
It's fine. I don't. It's fine.
I
mean, I don't hate Encanto or Moana by any means, but I just they're not really my thing.
Gotcha.
So.
Luke?
I mean, I'm with you, Tyler. I love the first Moana. It's great. So seeing this trailer, I was like, okay, this looks solid. But then again, though, I'm not sure exactly where they're going to go with this movie. Again, I agree. Give us another trailer and maybe see where we're going to go with this. But I don't know. The animation looks really good. Like, stunning. And the fact that they were actually taking this from being a TV show to making it now a movie, I'm like, I like this. I like it. I don't know. It could go either way for me. I mean, but I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it could go either way, but I'm excited.
I think that Disney really needs a banger because,
desperately.
Yeah, because what was the last Pixar movie that came out? Was it Lightyear?
Lightyear,
Elemental.
Oh yeah,
Elemental. I didn't care for at all. Lightyear, I was massively disappointed by. It wasn't bad, but it could have been so much better. And then you
Inside
had
Out 2 will save us.
Strange World. Nobody fucking saw that movie, and the
Did not
people
like
that
that one at all.
did,
It
yeah,
wasn't good.
That movie
it's
was
not.
mid as fuck.
Strange World wasn't like horrible, but I felt nothing watching it. I think I fell asleep halfway through it too, and woke up, and the movie was kind of ending, and I was like, oh, okay, I watched it, I guess.
Yeah.
So I do think Inside Out 2 is going to be really good. Man, if I walk out of that movie and say it was mid, I'm gonna be sad, bro. All my emotions are gonna be blue because
Yeah, pretty
that's
much, yes.
because that first movie, that's top 10 Disney, Pixar at least. So like, if y'all fuck that up, I
Yeah.
am excited for Inside
Listen,
Out 2.
specifically for Disney, they need a banger after The Last Wish, bro. You didn't even mention it. I know you didn't see
Oh
it.
yeah,
But
Wish. Yeah, I forgot Wish.
Wish
A lot of people forgot Wish.
100th anniversary
Yeah.
movie, and they fucking put it on that.
Mm-hmm.
I
The
would have
movie's
rather
been
Frozen
on
3 than that.
the movie's been on Disney Plus for like 2 months, and I've never thought once like I need to sit down and watch this.
Yeah.
Yep, that movie. Yeah.
Anywho, I'm excited for this, and I really, really hope that it's good. Because if you make a sequel to one of my favorite movies of all time and it sucks, mm, mm. Anywho, moving on. Beetlejuice trailer 2 thoughts.
Let's go.
So, I've made it very vocal on this channel that I am not the biggest fan of Beetlejuice. I like it just enough.
Ooh.
I think I think Michael Keaton is amazing in the role, and I love some of the things that they do in there. The practical effects are great, but when Beetlejuice is not in that movie, I find it to be very boring, and that's a lot of that movie. I do love the premise though. The premise is really darkly comedic, and I like that. So and I'm not a fan of Tim Burton really at all either, to be honest. So hearing that a Beetlejuice sequel was coming out directed by Tim Burton, God knows how long later, I was like, "You're not selling me well here, sir." Um, and we got that first trailer back in
I think we got it in March.
March, yeah, because it came out with Ghostbusters. We got it back in March, and I saw the trailer, and I was like, "That looks fun. It looks fun." Michael Keaton looked like he just never left the role, and it looks like a fun time. And we got the second trailer, and my thoughts haven't really changed. I said pretty much the same thing when I finished it. I was like, "Looks like a fun time." It doesn't look bad, but it's not really like giving me any oomph to be like, "Yo, Beetlejuice, that's a day one in theaters." I don't have that attachment to the movie, and so it's kind of just like, yeah, if it sucks, it sucks. If it's good, I'll eat crow and be like, yeah, that was pretty good. The effects for the most part actually look pretty good. I do appreciate the fact that he's trying to recapture the spirit and the vibe of the first movie with the effects, minus the one horrible shot of CGI of that plane. I don't know what that is. Oh my god, that's so bad. It looked atrocious.
Yeah.
But everything else looked great, So again, if it sucks, it sucks, Kevin?
Well, I saw this trailer for the first time when I saw Furiosa, and I guess it didn't click to me the first time that it was a new trailer until you mentioned that it was a new trailer today. I was just like, oh shit, okay.
Well, you saw the first trailer when you saw Ghostbusters.
No, I know. I'm saying like that was Saturday was the first time I saw this new trailer. But I pretty much enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool to watch. Michael Keaton looks like he's having the time of his life, and much similar to how I felt with Chris Hemsworth with those Furiosa trailers. When an actor looks like he's having the time of his life, he tends to give you a very damn good performance as that character. I do kind of the story still isn't entirely clear to me because it just seems like they're just gonna rehash the same premise as the first movie because that seems like what Winona Ryder's character seems to be pointing at, where she's just like, "Oh yeah, he did these things," and she's alluding to the past movie, and then Beetlejuice popped up, and then that's when they start showing the spectacle of the movie. Um, which, by the way, the spectacle of the movie, I really very much enjoyed all the visuals. It still gives you that kind of like vibe of the first movie, but also nothing that's heavily ingested with CGI. I guess that's a proper phrase way to say it.
Minus the plane. I'm sorry, that shot is really bad.
Yeah.
Like
I
it
don't
speaks
even remember it.
volumes. Like the effects minus that one scene are so good that when they showed that shot, I was like, ugh. It's like, what the hell is that? You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I like that they didn't shove the story into our faces, so hopefully they keep it that way. I think this is perfectly fine. Like I probably won't watch any more trailers unless we're obligated for Nerd Talk. But other than that, like I think I'm set for this movie. I'm gonna be there whenever it comes out.
I wish it was coming out in October. It's coming out the first week of September.
I think I'd agree.
Kind of irks me that 9 out of 10 times they'll put a movie that's tailor made for October. They'll put it in September.
And a
Like
lot
Maxine.
of times it's really bad.
They did that with It. I remember that. It came out in September. I was like, why is this movie coming out in September? But then Joker comes out in October, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, like we get Beetlejuice in September, then we get Joker in October. Like,
Yeah.
funny how that works out.
At least we got the Halloween movies in October, the Halloween reboots. But yeah,
Mike, what are your thoughts on the Beetlejuice trailer?
I have like nostalgic love for the original Beetlejuice. I used to watch that a lot as a young lad. But yeah, the trailer looks pretty solid. I don't love it by any means, but it's like, yeah, I mean, like it looks like the actors are back in like the same like stage that they were in 1988. You know, like they feel the same, they give off the same energy. Jenna Ortega seems like a perfect fit, being a new member of the cast. I honestly don't even remember the plane sequence, but that's just me. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to trailers half the time, so effects look pretty solid. I like especially the worm, how it looks very much like the worm in the original movie. But yeah, that's really all I gotta say about it. I mean, it looks fun. I know my mom really wants to see it, so
So does
I'm probably gonna end up seeing it with her at some point. So
maybe Beetlejuice is made for the moms. I don't know.
yeah, I guess so.
That's a possibility. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Luke?
I'm on Mike's side in regards to the original Beetlejuice. I grew up watching that movie like a dozen times because my parents absolutely loved that movie. So I have that deep-seated love for Beetlejuice. I did not watch the first trailer because I was just like, I don't know. We'll see. And the second trailer came out. I was like, okay, let's see what they got. I really do feel like they really are capturing the vibe of that original film in regards to the aesthetic of it. Kevin put it perfectly that Michael Keaton looks like he's having the time of his life reprising this role as Beetlejuice. I actually am a big Tim Burton fan. Like to be honest, like I'm a big fan of his. So I'm like when they announced the sequel, I was like, oh, crap. I'm never gonna forgive Tim Burton if he fucks up my childhood. Like I'll never forgive him. Like because Tim Burton was like a big childhood icon for me in regards to my favorite movies growing up. Was a lot of it was Tim Burton. So when I heard they were doing a Beetlejuice sequel, I was like, okay, I guess, because most of the time, long delayed comedy sequels do not work. Like for the most part, like mostly.
But is this a long delayed comedy sequel? Like, I wouldn't put this in the same boat as like Coming to America in terms of like, the idea of it, or Beverly Hills Cop Axel.
But to be fair, though, Beverly Hills Cop actually looks really good. Like it looks like they're still actually capturing the magic of those original movies.
Yeah, it looks okay.
So, but again, I love the aesthetic that they're going back to. I will agree some shots look iffy. But again, I love the sets. Jenna Ortega's a perfect fit. Glad to see Winona Ryder and Catherine O'Hara and Michael Keaton come back. So yeah, I'm really excited. But I do agree it should be released in October instead of September. I do agree with that.
Yeah,
this movie would be making the bank in October, I tell you.
And with the with the current state of movies, that movie might not even be in theaters long enough to be watched in October in the theater.
No, not even close, man.
It's gonna be there like.
It'll be at home.
They'll be like, oh.
It'll be at home in October.
Maybe
like,
that's
okay,
what they're planning for.
It's like, okay, we're gonna put this in theaters, and then 3 weeks later, okay, here you go. You gotta watch it at home.
Maybe that's what they're planning for. They're not
3 weeks.
They want to bring that movie into digital during October. Maybe
Universal said, "Hold my beer." The Fall Guy in digital 2 weeks.
Yeah, and that makes me very sad about like that the Fall Guy didn't do well. Like, just that was a good movie. Like
that was fun, good time. But yeah, those are our thoughts on the trailer. The second trailer for Beetlejuice. Let us know down below. Are you excited for this movie? Did you grow up with the first Beetlejuice? Is it your favorite Tim Burton movie, or are you a sane person that acknowledges that Corpse Bride is the superior Tim Burton movie for sure?
Sleepy Hollow all the way.
I still have not seen it. I want to see Sleepy.
I love Sleepy Hollow. I'm more on the side of Big Fish. That's my favorite Tim Burton movie.
A weird movie.
I know, but
moving on to our main topic of the day, it is the spoiler talk for Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. So if you have not seen Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, please exit the menu and return when you have seen this film. Look at this clown showing up in here.
Hey, yo.
Look at this guy showing up. Hey, look at this guy. Look at this guy.
What up, AJ?
What's going on, y'all? What's going on?
Through. Did you actually see this movie, or are you showing up to show up?
I did see this movie.
Nice.
Purposefully did not give us the reading.
So
he didn't give us any warning.
So now I don't know what order to go in. Based on my thoughts, what order should I go in?
I think this is good. Yeah, I think.
Let's go around that. Yeah, just go around that way.
So, for those who don't know, and I like that AJ's here because now you can see the beautiful background. You see the two Onion Killer Joys. Feel up
right here.
Right there. Right there.
Everyone
right
on the
right there.
All right. So, Furiosa. So, for those who don't know, Furiosa is a prequel to Mad Max Fury Road, directed by George Miller. This movie is also directed by George Miller. Stars Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth. Those are really the two notable names. There's a couple other people in there. And it tells the origin story of Furiosa, her backstory, and how these events will lead up to Mad Max Fury Road.
I didn't think prequels did that.
So, for those who know, this was my most anticipated movie of the year. Yes, over Dune Part 2. And it was mainly because I love Mad Max Fury Road. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. And so the fact that we were returning to this world and we got the first trailer and it looked just as good, I was like, this movie is going to be fucking raw and my life will be changed after I see it. It was fucking changed, all right. I walked into this movie like a little kid on their birthday, bro. I was like, bro, it's my time. Let's go. You know, AJ, Kevin, they had Dune in March. I was like, bro, this is my time. Warner Brothers logo came on just like Fury Road. I was like, oh, fuck. 2.5 hours later, I was kind of just sad. Now, I want to clarify and say that this movie is not bad. This is a good movie. I do think this is a good movie. Calling this movie bad, I think you're a fool. This movie is a good movie. But I think this movie does a lot of things wrong for me that really hold it back from being as good as Furiosa. And to me, it's not as good as Road Warrior. Even I think Road Warrior is a lot better than this movie. There are things that I love about this movie, and then there are things that are so crushingly disappointing that it kind of bummed me out. And the final result, I kind of walked out and I was like, it's fine. Like literally, I was so hard. I tried so hard to like this movie. By the end of it, I was like, I like it. But I wanted to come out of this theater like ready to run around the theater like, yo, that was so good. Oh my god, I want to see it again. And I kind of didn't. I was kind of just like, it's fine, unfortunately. And I do mean unfortunately. But I'm not the only one that feels that way either. I've seen a lot of people say it was kind of disappointing. I seen some people say it was good, like really good. Then I seen a lot of people saying, yeah, it wasn't as good as Fury Road. And for those who are about to say, oh, it's not really fair to compare it to Fury Road. Yes, the fuck it is. Because Fury Road set the standard to be that fucking good. And when you make the movie that good, you know, it's kind of hard for me to not walk into the next movie and be like, okay, is it as good as that one? Because most people did that with Infinity War and Endgame. Everyone's like, is Endgame as good as Infinity War? I don't know. It's not, right. By the way. Anywho, right. those are my thoughts on Furiosa. We'll get more into my disappointments and negatives. AJ, you are up, sir.
All right, so the whole thing with me and Mad Max, I'm not the biggest Mad Max fan like this guy over here. This guy over here is a fanatic for Mad Max. But
I'm a fanatic of one movie. The other three actually took
it. He said don't associate with that franchise.
As far as Fury Road is concerned, and I like the movie, and I've seen it for the first time kind of recently, like a couple years ago. But I like the movie. It's a fun time, but I have issues with it. I did not see this movie until today, Furiosa, until today. And me and Tyler had talked about it in a extensive conversation.
Bro, I texted the group chat my score. This dude immediately called me, bro.
I said it was because you were just hyping it up all year long, and it's your most anticipated. I'm like, what's going on, bro? What happened?
If I was able to see him in person, he would have gave me a hug, bro.
For real, I felt so bad. I felt so.
I would have
bad
given you
because
he was so
disappointed with the film, and I was like, man, it was like me, like he said earlier. It was like me with Dead Reckoning Part 1 last year. I didn't love that movie, and it was my one of my most anticipated movies of the year. So I felt it kind of a similar way. But yeah, so going into this movie today, I was like, I've been hearing some good things here, some bad things there. I'm gonna try to go in there with as much of an open mind as possible. And I can safely say that it was a good movie. I thought it was a good movie. I did have some of the same gripes, but I also had I didn't agree with everything. But I thought the performances were really good across the board. I thought the effects were very good, actually. The green screen is where I had some issues. The score was good. Just like overall, the movie was good. Now, some of the decisions that were made story wise and just period with the film I had some issues with, and we'll get into those details soon. But overall, I would say it's a good film.
Evan?
Okay, so I'm not a big fanatic of the franchise. I saw the Fury Road back when it first came out, and then that was it. And I didn't rewatch it until we did that watch along last week. So there was a big time gap between seeing the scene movie, and then now I saw Furiosa. I very much enjoyed it. My score right now, I give it an 8.5, but that's like a pretty low bar for it. Like I'd say, like my thoughts on it changed a little, so it's more closer to a 4 than it is a 4.5 on Letterboxd. But just to get into, I did not anticipate this movie being as very little action, having very little action as it did, which I'm um which I don't know how the previous Mad Max movies were, as far as like, did it tell its story through its action? Has this just been a thing with this franchise? George Miller was just like, we'll just switch things up.
This we'll get into this later. This movie is very much in the vein of the first two Mad Max movies.
Okay.
In terms of style.
I will say that one of my bigger gripes was like a good segment in the beginning of the movie. Because while I did enjoy seeing more of Furiosa's backstory, I felt like there was a good 15 to 20 minute stretch where they had none of that in that movie. And I'm just like, not a whole lot of Furiosa in there. You know, I don't mind showing her as a kid, but there wasn't a whole lot of her anyway. But once they started focusing on her, and then once that her part of the story kind of develops, I really enjoyed it. I can definitely see why maybe the ending wasn't as up to par because there wasn't this humongous battle. But I think that's just something that you really have to sit down and think about. Like maybe if I watch this on a rewatch, it might hit me better than it did. But I still fairly enjoyed it as far as like her going after it. I just feel like it was a well constructed story. It could have been done a lot better. I felt like the visuals weren't as good as the first movie, not in terms of like obviously 2024 will look better than how it did in 2015, but I guess like the color grading of it, and I think a lot of it had to do with what people pointed out between the first and second trailers as far as like the contrast just severely just got shut down going from the first trailer to the second. But other than that, the one big action sequence they did have in this movie, I personally loved it. But yeah, I will talk more in details later, but I personally really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good movie. Probably would feel it being a great movie if I were to rewatch it, but that probably won't happen anytime soon because I gotta wait for it to be on digital, which with the financial situation, it probably won't be long.
Right. We getting that in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Luke?
Well, I will just say this. I like the Mad Max franchise. I did the watch along series with this fucker over here. So well, him and I actually have the hot take that we do not like the first movie. Like
as far as Fury Road?
No,
the first Mad Max.
Movie. Okay.
The first Mad Max.
Stinks.
Like there's some great action, and for what they had to work with, we totally respect. But the movie is so insanely slow and boring to a point where it was just like, nope.
Yeah, that movie reeks.
Yeah, that movie gets my ass. The Road Warrior, it's great. Like, do we really need to say anything about the Road Warrior? Beyond Thunderdome was interesting though. When we were watching it, that movie's interesting. Like, oh man,
that movie can kiss my ass.
I wouldn't say that. But Fury Road, what can be said about Mad Max Fury Road that hasn't been said? It's a masterpiece. So going to see this one, I was very excited. But again, I had to try to temper my expectations because if I go in too hyped, I'm probably going to walk out going, all right. I was watching it, so I watched it and I loved it. I love this one. It's not. I wouldn't. It's definitely not better than Fury Road. I'm not gonna go that far, like yet. I do think it is actually a little better than the Road Warrior, in my opinion. It's definitely better than the first Mad Max. But the action was great. The performances were great. The effects, minus some iffy CGI. Some iffy CGI aside, I love this movie. And I actually will be seeing it again tomorrow. So I'm very excited to watch it again.
Mike?
I mean, y'all probably will have a heart attack from me saying this, but this is my favorite movie of the year so far.
I mean, you're not the first person that said that.
It's my number 4 currently of the year. So
I adored this movie. I love Fury Road. Shouldn't be any secret about it. Yeah, it's amazing. And yeah, this movie basically turned this like the formula of Fury Road and made it more story based rather than just like a chase movie for 2 hours. So this is like a bigger scale movie. Takes place over like 12 years or so, and I didn't expect it to be much more story like in front and then like the action in the back, but it still delivered for me personally. I just adored it. Anya Taylor-Joy, fantastic. Chris Hemsworth probably gives my favorite performance I've seen from him as just a wasteland hillbilly. I loved it.
Wasteland Jack Sparrow.
Mm-hmm. Lady and gentlemen.
If we can talk about perfect casting, Chris Hemsworth as Lord Dementus. Like, come on.
All right.
Dementus the Red.
So I want to, because I do really only have 2 big negatives, and then the rest is kind of just small stuff. So I want to start with those, and you guys can chime in. That's fine. I didn't want to go B for B because the movie is very long. So my biggest negative with this movie is how the story is written and its length. This movie is way too long, in my opinion, and part of that comes to the story. Now, there are parts of the story that I really like. For example, the opening 40 minutes or so, where it's Furiosa's mom going after her and all that. I actually love that. I think Kevin was saying that he didn't really care for that. I actually loved that. I was really engaged.
I'll clarify. It was more after her mother's passing. It was like the bridge between after that point and then when we saw Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah. So from the beginning until the part where like they burned her mom, I was like, "Yo, this is good. Like this is really good." Then we get to her being the war boy, or pretending to be a war boy, obviously, and I feel like the movie just fucking slowed all the way down, and I never really got into it after that. There were parts that I really liked, like Kevin mentioned, the action sequence in the second act is easily the best part of the movie. But to me, even that sequence doesn't hold a candle to anything that happened in Fury Road at all. And while watching that action sequence, unfortunately, I was taken out by some really bad green screen. There is some really, really bad green screen. And I saw this movie in IMAX. So did Kevin. So that when we see a movie with effects and the effects are bad, that mug is front and center in our face. Those there was like I was so invested in that action sequence, and then the bad green screen just hit me like a truck, and I was like, ugh. It's like, what the hell is that? And then I couldn't get back into the action sequence like that, and it was.
What sequence are you talking about specifically?
With the parachutes in the second act. That whole car chase.
Yeah.
When they pulled out them parachutes, bro.
That was amazing. That was great. But again, I couldn't get invested in it because of some really bad green screen at points.
The green screen.
But back to the story, I feel like there's a lot of hints of greatness in this story for me that are not fully developed. Like, my main thing with this movie is I wanted to know where the relationship between her and Immortan Joe comes from. We don't get that at all. Immortan Joe is literally there to stand there so geeks like me could be like, hey, I know him from Fury Road. The same thing with the other big dude. The same thing with the medic dude. Yeah, his sons. All of them. The dude with the pig nose. All of them. That's literally their purpose in this movie. To stand there.
And erection.
To stand there and bridge these two movies. That's literally their purpose. They did nothing. And go ahead.
Sorry. I will say, as far as that point goes, I think because at the end of the movie, they teased her, and I think it kind of like confirmed the fact that the two movies were essentially back to back, as far as what I was able to tell. Yeah. Because as soon as the movie was coming to a close, that's when she started freeing those other women, and that's pretty much started off Fury Road, and we get that little montage, just like, oh yeah,
it is a time jump though. It is a time jump between the final scene and then her breaking out.
That blood.
I thought it was like as soon as she killed Mantis, it was just like, oh yeah,
no,
she learned much from it, and then
because they showed. Okay, go ahead. You're fine.
Yeah, sorry. I mean that didn't really take an effect on the point I was making. Is that I felt like the end of the movie showed her as if she had profound experience from the entire ordeal, where she was just like, I gotta free these women and bring them back to where I came from. But at least for me, I didn't get that sort of connection with her and her time with Immortan Joe, where it was just like, oh, okay, so I guess whatever happened here, maybe that led you to being freeing all those women. But like, it didn't really feel like that to me. I felt like it was more about her revenge against the Mantis than it was. Like, there wasn't anything from the movie that made me believe, like, oh yeah, whatever happened in her experience there, that's why she's freeing these women. It's not like, that's
true.
One of my big regrets. But everything regarding her and the Mantis, I felt like was really well done. I very much loved that. Very much loved that aspect of the story. It was more just like the ending where it's just like, wait a minute, why are you freeing these women?
I want to touch on that. I loved Chris Hemsworth in this movie. Like I said before, he's very much. It's like his first couple scenes. I'm like, he's doing his Jack Sparrow easily, and he kills it. He's very good. My issue with his character, I love him as a character. Everything he does, the way he acts, the way he talks, flawless. My issue is how they use him in this movie. The beginning makes him a very intimidating force, and I love that. And he basically walks into the Citadel and is like, listen, Immortan Joe, whatever the fuck your name is, I'm going to take your stuff and I'm going to fuck with it, and you can't do anything about it. And he's like, all right, let him do it, whatever. And I was there for that. But then he's gone for like 30 minutes. And I was like, I was inside. I was like, where is he? The whole movie is built around him and Furiosa. But he's not in the movie for 30 minutes, which killed this whole movie for me. And because of that, what we get instead is not interesting, in my opinion. She's rolling around. She's rolling around with great value, Sebastian Stan. Like, yeah, the action is cool, sure, but the action has to have substance to it. And for the geeks that are gonna tell me, oh well, Fury Road doesn't have a story, so your point makes no sense. The difference with Fury Road is that the action drives the movie. The movie is non-stop. Literally. Yes, because the action is always happening, other than the scene where she goes to what was supposed to be the green place. And that scene is emotional. So that's why that scene works. When you're giving me a scene, you're giving me characters I don't really know about, and you're giving me an action sequence, sure, I can acknowledge the action was good. The action in this movie is good. But why do I care? I just met this dude. Why do I care about him? He's not in Fury Road. Why do I care about him? Not more than likely, he's gonna die. What happens? He dies in this movie. And
Real quick, Praetorian Jack. To add on to that character, real fast, I just want to say there was somewhere online that I read there's a theory of why Furiosa bonded with Max so well with the story given in this film, because you notice how Jack looked a lot like Max, acted a lot like Max, had like the look, the outfit, and everything like Max.
Yeah.
They bonded, so then she befriends Max in Fury Road because she had this friend that he reminds her of.
Resembles him.
Resembles, yeah.
And I like that a lot because it adds on to the purpose of this character. So I think it makes the movie better thinking about that. But I can see why someone doesn't really care for him, but that's just me.
I just the parts of this movie where Dementis was gone really hurt the movie for me. It was to the point. Oh man. Oh, AJ's back.
You like
cut out. You cut out
What
for
the
a
hell's
second.
going on here?
The parts where Dementis was not there, I was just like, come on, get back. Like, I want to see Furiosa and him going head to head. And we barely got any of it.
I
Yeah,
think
go ahead.
I think that was purposeful. Sorry, AJ.
You're fine.
I think that was pretty purposeful in the sense like
Establishing Jack.
actually, yeah, not just establishing Jack. I was trying to make a good parallel, but that wouldn't work. But
Makes sense.
the point is that she hated this guy. Like the whole movie, she was dead set on like trying to find her way to kill him at one point or another. Especially now that she's free from Immortan Jack and now she's with Jack. Sorry. I will say, as far as Jack's character goes, I did find it funny that at one point he was just like, "You're gonna join me, and I'm gonna teach you my ways, because then it'll make you a better person, and it'll help you survive out here in the wasteland." And then like the time jump felt very weird because it quite literally happened like a couple scenes later. Oh, now she's got the makeup, she's got the
It's like
suit.
the next scene.
Like it was just like, okay, no little montage or anything, but yeah, I guess that's fine. The ending of it really hit home as far as why Dementis kind of disappeared throughout the middle of the movie, because it was kind of like, correct me if I remember it wrong, but at the end when he was giving this monologue to Furiosa, he was just like, why it was kind of just like, yo, why are you so obsessed with me? Like you killing me does not give you, any sort of like closure with this entire endeavor. You kill me, but what happens after? You're still gonna think about the fact that your mom died. I don't really care about me. Like, sure, you can get your revenge on me, but what's that gonna do for her? What's that gonna do for your situation trying to get back home?
Right.
So that was kind of my interpretation of it. I get it, like throughout the movie, maybe you didn't get it at that point because that point never really got hammered home until that last interaction between the two. But that's kind of how I felt about the two's dynamic.
I wish. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, to Tyler's point about Dementis, like kind of dropping off in towards the middle of the movie. I think it on paper it works, but I feel like it could have, like they could have interwoven the story a little bit better. So we have everything towards the beginning of the movie with Dementis, and that is what we're hanging on to, right? Between Furiosa and Dementis. And then we have like kind of this, it kind of just goes into this, sequence with Jack. And it's like, if Jack and Dementis that those stories interwove a little bit better, we would have, cared about Jack first of all, and then we would have kind of been okay with not seeing Dementis right then and there. But like since it was just such kind of a disconnect with the film, right there with the storyline, I think that was it kind of was like a shock. And also it wasn't as interesting as it could have been because we don't really have much ties with Jack up until that point. So I
Right.
agree like partially with Tyler with that, but sure, I did like that character of Jack. So like I just wish it would have been interwoven a little bit better and we would have cared about that character a lot more. But yeah.
Right.
And my other issue with the story is they don't explore the relationship with Immortan Joe and Dementis at all. You clearly set up the fact that Immortan Joe does not like him, and he does not like the fact that he's in Gastown messing up everything, and he's got his oasis, if you will, or the wasteland in a chokehold.
Mhm.
We get nothing.
Right.
We get the first scene of them talking, and that's it. And then at a point, he's just like, "Oh, go to Gastown and take it back," because he's out of his mind. How do I know he's out of his mind? I haven't seen him do anything. They just show up to Gastown, and he's there making a mess of things. And it's like them implying, "Oh yeah, he's been messing with everything." How about you show me that he's been messing with everything? I complain that the movie's too long, but if you add the the substance to that, I'm not going to complain about that. I will take more if it adds to the story. But the more that we got, to me, didn't add anything. It made the movie longer for no reason. The reason Fury Road works so much is because that movie is a tight 2 hours, and it moves insanely fast. This movie, granted, the style of this movie is different, but it doesn't take away the fact that the movie's slow, and it doesn't need to be. And it kind of made it to the point where a lot of the stuff that they were hammering home in the third act just did not work for me. Jack dies off screen, and I was just like, okay, I never cared about him before. I don't care about him now. The scene where she lost her arm felt obligatory. Like, oh yeah, we have to show her losing her arm in this movie, I guess. You know, um,
Yeah, but it was smart.
it was cool, I guess. I was just like, oh, all right, I guess that she loses her arm, And the ending I thought was insanely disappointing. I've seen people say, oh, like it hit home. It was,
That ending.
I was just like, cool.
I think that ending was such a bold move for this franchise because coming off of Fury Road and how epic that whole movie was, and to have like a ending like this, kind of like a little bit up to your interpretation, and then obviously they show what actually happens. But like then like giving different scenarios of Dementis's fate and stuff like that, it was just so peculiar to me, and I don't know how I felt about. I still don't know how I feel about that.
I think I would have been more okay with the movie ending on a discussion if we had gotten a big epic chase.
Yeah,
But she kind of just finds him, has a conversation, and kills him. It's like,
well, she kind of like it says that she did kill him, and then like she tortured him maybe, and then they show him at the end with like
which
the
was
plant
nuts.
with
That
the
was
plant
crazy.
growing out of him, and like this is what really happened. And I was
That was
like,
crazy.
I don't know if I like this, but
I
it is
liked that.
different. It's different.
That
Like,
was kind of cool.
The method of
Yeah.
killing, or how they
Like that was. I like how different it was. Like,
yeah, it was definitely a choice, a different type of choice.
When they showed
especially for this
him
franchise.
being the tree, I was like, that's kind of crazy.
And it kind of
I
came
like
full
that.
circle
Bro,
from
and he's
the
still
beginning of the
alive.
it was dope
too.
though.
I did like that. What else did I really have issues with? That was pretty much it. Again, I did not hate this movie. I was very disappointed by it. Talking about the good, again, the action sequences in this movie are good. I really like the beginning of this movie where Furiosa's mom is taking out all these dudes trying to get back to her. Watching the movie, I was like, I would take a movie about Furiosa's mom than Furiosa by the end of it.
My favorite part of the movie, and I was kind of not wanting that part to end. When
Yeah,
they had her strung
definitely.
up, I was like, "Ah, dang! I kind of wanted more of this." Which it was kind of funny because Anya Taylor-Joy hadn't even showed up yet, and I'm like, I would have taken this movie rather than what we ended up getting. But
The middle act action sequence I thought was pretty good. The one in Gastown I thought was
Mhm.
probably the best one. I liked
Mhm.
that one a
Yeah.
lot.
when she was sniping everybody,
Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah.
cool. The stunt work and all that stuff that was pretty neat. I liked all that. That was probably the most I was invested because there was no like bad effects in that scene. Like that was a flawless action sequence. And then that from there you go from the gas down part to the car chase where Dementis goes after them. I really like all that stuff. That was some good stuff. The
Mhm.
music was not as good as Fury Road, but I thought it was pretty good. I think it actually got better as the movie went along, especially at the end. The ending tracks I thought were phenomenal.
Yes.
Cinematography wise, the movie looks beautiful. Like I'm just talking about like the practical stuff, not like green screen. Like the visuals I think are very good. What else? What else? What else? What else? The acting was pretty good. Obviously the actor for Morton Joe is different because the one who played him in Fury Road passed away. Rest in peace. I
Mhm.
thought,
he's definitely younger.
yeah,
This guy's
Definitely younger.
definitely younger.
and I thought the way they did his voice was pretty neat. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? You guys have anything else that I haven't touched on yet?
No.
No.
Well, as far as my personal experience with this movie, I saw it
Mhm.
today in Dolby, and the sound design in this movie
Yeah,
was
that's
so incredible. It
absolutely.
That
was
was
like one of the
amazing.
best
Mhm.
sounding movies that I've seen in a very long time.
Especially
Like
the vehicles.
Mhm.
Yeah.
every time they started their engines, the entire theater would shake. And you could feel that. And I was like, yo, I'm in this movie right now. Like I'm in it. I'm not just watching it.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I loved every second of that. The sound design. Fantastic.
Mhm.
I will say one thing
Yeah.
about this
Good.
movie. I don't know which racing event this was, but it was like um when Chris Hemsworth was like, "Ladies and gentlemen, like start your
Ladies
engines."
and
Am I the
gentlemen.
only one who caught like I don't know if I'm calling out the wrong person. When Matthew McConaughey did that
Mm,
during one of the big races of the year, he was
I
like,
can see that.
"Start your engines," and I'm
I
just like,
I can see
"Okay."
that. Definitely.
Um,
Yes.
this is something I forgot. Who caught the Mad Max cameo?
It was a Mad Max cameo.
Yep. Mhm.
Yep.
I definitely did.
He's on the
Yep.
He's
mountain.
on the
He's on
mountain.
the mountain. Yeah.
If
Yep.
you
I was
played,
watching with my grandpa. I was like,
Oh,
"Grandpa,
Yeah.
that's Max." And he's like,
if
"Oh
you
shit."
played if you played the Mad Max video game, which is one of the most underrated video games ever, you knew exactly who it was. And I felt like I was the only one in the theater that caught it. Like they
I need to
showed
play
him.
this
I
game.
sat up in my seat. I was like, hey. And he's sitting there
Max!
eating the dog food. I was like, yo, that's Max. She's sitting there chilling. I was like, so you mean to tell me this dude was sitting there for all that time until the War Boys finally found him?
I
That
guess so.
that's that
I
was
guess
just
so.
kind of crazy to me. I
I need
thought
to
I
play
thought it was
this Mad
hilarious
Max
though.
game.
That's
When
funny
when they
though.
when they showed him, I was like, that's kind of funny. And his hair was shorter too. Oh no, I think he actually had like the bushy hair. Um, but I knew
Yeah,
it was him.
from the
Yeah.
beginning of Fury Road. Yeah.
I knew it was him though, because the car was the same, and he was just kind of
Yeah.
sitting there. I think he even was like, "Nope, I'm not." Like he was watching it in the distance. He was like, "Nope,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that."
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was like right when Immortan Joe's guys were going after Dementis, right? That was when that was yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought.
um,
That corresponds pretty well with the beginning of the Fury Road too, though, because that's where he is like on the mountain watching, and then he gets in the car and leaves. But
Yep.
yeah, I don't know.
Is there anything else?
I will say I actually do kind of like what they did with the Morton Joe, because it like with the Morton Joe and Dementis, because it's like, you know, Mad Max, it's like when you get into these movies, it's a lived in world already, so it's like these battling warlords basically, Morton Joe and Dementis. So it's like I kind of get why they kind of just like glanced over it, because basically you're looking at it, you know, you've seen Dementis do all this shit, and you're probably like, yeah, he's probably most likely going to do all this shit that you wouldn't even see on screen. So like, yeah, it's like I don't really mind that they just kind of like cut to him taking over Gastown, but like still, I don't know. And then also like Immortan Joe and Furiosa's relationship, they didn't really have like a background together in Fury Road, so it wasn't like you had to like expand on that. It's just like how Furiosa got to be in the Morton Joe's crew and whatnot. But yeah, so like I don't really necessarily like get like complaints about that, but I respect it though. For sure.
You get it.
Anything else?
That's it for me.
That gecko got destroyed. That gecko got destroyed. That was coming out.
Yeah. That was.
I was kind of like, I was like, oh, what's this little gecko doing?
I was like, oh my god, he's so cute. And then
I
and then he
expected
gets crushed by that wheel, and I'm just like, no.
I expected it, but like I don't. It's usually whenever you see something like that in a movie, but you know.
I know it was just kind of like lingered on it longer than I expected it to, and then just got.
You heard the cars coming, so I was like, yeah.
And I like it was just coming in, and I'm like, yep,
yeah.
Yeah, if anyone doesn't have any other thoughts, I'll just conclude by saying this, that I did like this movie, but it was crushingly disappointing. I do want to see it again. I'll probably just wait for the 4K. I do want to see it in 4DX, but I think that ship has sailed. I don't think it's in 4DX anymore. But I will watch this movie again before the year ends. Like, I'm going to buy this day one because it's Mad Max, you know. In terms of the future of Mad Max, he already said that he wants to do a prequel about Mad Max that takes place before Fury Road. I personally have no interest in that. I think they should just stop fucking doing prequels. Just give us the sequel to Fury Road while you're still alive.
He has the Wastelander planned, which is supposed to be the sequel. So,
I just want that. Like, I'm tired of doing movies that really don't matter in the grand scheme of things, and I kind of feel like that with this movie. You know, sure, you get some substance, and you know, you can watch Fury Road and be like, man, I'm so invested in Furiosa now. It's like, to me, the only reason that I can love that this movie exists is because it makes the scene where she finds out that the green place is gone, it makes it more impactful. Everything else, I'm just like, I didn't need a 2.5 hour movie to be invested in Fury Road. I already love that movie.
Everything with her mom too kind of gives her depth too. That's one of my favorite parts of the entire movie. I was like,
that's just that reason is why I'm kind of bummed out that the movie turns out the way it does, because the setup was setting up for like a 5 out of 5 beyond belief, you know. But you can't win them all. Who knows? Maybe I'll like it more on a rewatch. I hope that I like it more on a rewatch. I don't want to end this year. I don't want to end this year by saying, yeah, Furiosa was a 3.5. This was very disappointing.
I hope you enjoy it more on a rewatch.
I think you give it at least a 4 on a rewatch. I hope so.
I think you suffered from the weight of your own expectations.
It's not my fault that the trailers were as good as they were.
I'm not saying that you should have expected a mid movie. I'm simply saying that you thinking that this movie is going to be up top but it not being up top kind of swayed you down a little bit more than it should.
Yeah,
At-
I mean,
basically just,
at least
like-
from what it sounds like I'm hearing from you. But
it was basically just a
it's
download too slow kind of shit on you, bro.
I don't know. But if you guys have seen Furiosa Mad Max Saga, let us know what you thought about it. Did you like it as much as a lot of other people, or were you disappointed like me? Also, where does this rank in your Mad Max rankings? This, if I was to rank them off the top of my head, it'd be from worst to best Beyond Thunderdome, the first Mad Max, this movie, Road Warrior, and Fury Road. Real quick. I didn't put that in here because AJ and Kevin have not seen the other Mad Max movies. Moving
Watch
on, yes, watch Road Warrior. The first two have some of the best action sequences ever put to film.
Mhm.
I agree.
Moving on to the final topic of the day, it is the physical media update. I only have 5 titles, so whoever has more, let me know. That's normally
I do.
Oh, I know you do. You buy everything.
Not wrong.
And you got an entire fucking month's worth of shit. So
Well, no, I'm only just gonna show like most recent stuff I got. Like,
all right. Yeah, Luke, you could go first. I don't mind.
all right. So first off, I'm gonna show. I am part of Horror Pack now, so I got some stuff from Horror Pack. So I'm gonna show those off first. So the thing I like about Horror Pack is sometimes they'll send you like these hidden gems that you never heard of, and then all of a sudden like you're the one person that talks about it. So I'm glad I signed up.
For better or
So,
for worse.
for better or for worse, yeah. But yeah. So I got this. Actually looked really interesting to me when I looked at the cover. It's called The Devil's Dolls. This looked pretty interesting. So. And then once a month, they always send you one exclusive Blu-ray. So I got Sequel Cruel Summer 2. Because last month I got this one, Cruel Summer. So got that. The next up I got Stoker Hills. Tony Todd is in this, so could be interesting. And this one I'm actually going to put in my sell pile because sadly I already have this one. Willy's Wonderland. I already have this movie, so I'm gonna sell this one.
You could give it to me. I don't have it.
But you don't like that movie all that much, though.
That's true.
You don't. It's better than.
I hate it.
I only watched it the once. I don't know how I'd feel about it on a rewatch. I still don't own it.
I'll probably send it to you if I get the chance. So I'll keep that off to the side for now. So, and then for 31 on 31, I got The Bodyguard and Thief, which I would morally recommend this movie.
That's a
Thief is
Criterion.
much better.
mhm.
Yep, that's that Criterion. I do
That's
have
the
another
only-
Criterion in this stack, which I'll show in a little bit.
Is that the
I think
only
that's the
Michael
only
Mann
way to-
Criterion?
I think
I'm
so, actually. I'm not
sure.
100% sure.
I'm sure it's not, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, but then, well, last Saturday I went ham. So because I went to flea markets and first vendor I got 3 movies for $2. So that's a steal. So I got Moneyball,
That was pretty good.
Sin City.
I didn't own that.
Since
No, I didn't. I did not own Sin City. This one you're gonna be more shocked that I didn't own. District 9.
movie slaps.
Sure had that.
Hot take though, I actually prefer Elysium over District 9.
Luke,
Not the first person I
do you-
said.
how much room do you have for all your movies?
I actually have about like 4 different shelves, so
Or like around your room?
I have 2 in here and I have 2 outside in the hallway. So
Oh, got you.
because
You haven't run out of space yet?
nope, still haven't run out of space. So this one was only $1, like because when I went to this next vendor, the lady that was holding this was said that the movies were $1 a piece, no matter what format. So I picked up Takers. And then these next 4 were like
theaters.
The rest, like except for the last one that I got at flea market, the rest of these were all $2, so I couldn't pass them up. 21 and over, which I know not a lot of people like, but I do. While We're Young, Noah Baumbach movie. You guys like Marriage Story? I'm pretty sure you guys might like this one. I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure I might like that one. Friday, it's a classic.
About $2.
And then one of Mike's favorite movies, The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good movie.
And then, so let's see. And the next up I got The Change Up. Maggie.
It's on my list to watch.
Cop Car. Directed, if you guys don't know, that's directed by John Watts, the guy that did the new Spider-Man movies for the MCU. So I didn't like his other movie that he made called Clown, that was produced by Eli Roth. That was pretty bad, but I might like that one. And then picked up Spy. 50 First Dates.
Good movie.
Hilarious.
Walk the Line.
I don't think I've ever seen that cover for Walk the Line.
Yeah, let me look at this really quick. This is a 2014 re-release for this one.
That makes sense.
And it also kind of helps because while I was on vacation in Tennessee, I actually did go to the Johnny Cash Museum. So
nice.
And they did actually have a little spot for the movie. So that was pretty awesome. Also, speaking on James Mangold, because he also directed Walk the Line. If you guys have not seen Copland, please check this out. It's really good. And then Easy A. Then at the last vendor I went to, this was $4, so I picked it up. About Time. Yep. Stopped at a different Walmart, so I had to get a couple steelbooks. So I got.
Luke, how much more you got, bro?
Dude, I have a freaking full-time job at a nursing home, man. Like, so I picked up Major League. And then this one's an upgrade. The Crow. Speaking on 31 on 31, we talked about this one. Okay. 2 more, then I'm done. I know.
2 more.
So I got E.T. on 4K.
The Slip. It's nice.
And this was the other Criterion I was talking about. I was excited as hell that when they announced this on Criterion, I had to get this right away. Anatomy of a Fall, one of the Best Picture nominees. Fantastic movie. That's it. That's all of them.
Thank Christ.
I know.
Dang.
I know. I'm terrible.
Leave my man alone, man.
I'm terrible. Like, I am terrible with money. Like,
Mike, did you get anything?
I got a copy of Dune Part 2, but it's in another room, and that is all that I've gotten.
All right.
So,
AJ, how much do you have?
2.
All right, so I'll go so that way you can end with your 2.
Yep.
So the first thing I got is The Crow. I was not able to get any of the steelbooks. It's okay because I thought those steelbooks were garbage, to be honest. So ended up getting the slip. I love this slip cover, and this movie is fire. I really liked it. But Evil Dead 2013, Scream Factory 4K. Absolutely love this movie. This movie is fucking awesome. And I got it on sale. It came with a slipcover. Very happy about that. Got The Invisible Man 1933. Love this movie. One of my favorite horror movies. I showed AJ. He likes it more than I do. Which surprised me. But I love this movie, and we're gonna do a video on this in October. Very excited for that.
good.
The second thing I got on the Screen Factory sale was the 4K for Piranha. This is going to be one of the summer OVRs that we do. Very excited to do that. It actually has alternate artwork. Very happy about that. This movie is fun. I like it. It's a little before its time, and it could have been a lot better, but I like it. It's fun. And the last thing that I got, which I was so excited about as soon as they announced it, I wanted to pre-order it so bad, and I still did pre-order it. It took fucking forever to get here, but it is the 4K steelbook of Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I also got the poster right there. I love that. Cult classic beyond belief. It's so fucking stupid, but I absolutely love this. And we just watched it the other night. 4K is very good, and the movie is very fun. Yeah, go out and buy this one, steelbook or slipcover, because it's a pretty good one. AJ.
All right. So only like I said, I only have two titles. The first title is a movie that I don't absolutely love. It's okay. Other people in this panel enjoy this movie more than me. But it's a Marvel movie, so I had to pick it up. It is The Marvels on
Fuck that
4K.
movie.
There's a Marvels on 4K. I found it for $12.99 with a slip, so I went ahead and picked that up.
Too much.
Trying to complete
How much you
my
spent?
MCU, huh?
How much you spending it?
$12.99.
That's a good price.
Are you trying to like make fun of me for Doom Part 2? Is that what you're trying to do?
It's
No,
okay,
no.
Mike.
I was not
Oh,
even
okay.
thinking about Doom Part
It's
2.
okay, Mike. I
No.
spent almost 50 on this, so it's
Bro.
okay.
Ew! What the
I,
fuck?
I, I
couldn't
think I
see
spent
myself
35 on the
doing
skill
that.
book.
I couldn't see myself doing that. But anyway,
movie's
and my
not bad.
last pickup
It was
is
good.
the Hunger Games 4 movie collection on 4K steelbook. It
Hey,
was $20, a whopping $20.
nice.
So I had, and it came
That's a
with
good
digital.
price.
So
Hey, bro.
They
I'm
work?
That's a good price.
$50 at Walmart.
Yep, they
Holy
work.
fuck.
Nice.
Yep, the digitals work.
That's a good price, man.
Yep, I
Man,
found
that
a
shit
couple
is still $60
gems.
at Walmart.
You didn't get your crow?
Nah, man, that's coming tomorrow.
Oh my god!
I know.
Amazon, stop playing with this man, bro.
I know. They know
Stop
I love
playing with
that
this
movie.
man, bro.
They know I loved it.
It's making me angry, and I got my 4K, bro.
That's why I saw y'all with the crow, and I'm just like, okay.
He's just like,
Nice.
he's just gonna be like he's just like, okay, cool for you.
Yeah.
That's gonna do it.
pickups.
That's gonna do it for this episode of Nerd Talk. Very fun episode.
Oh yeah, and I picked up this for Tyler. So.
Oh yeah, he did give me
yes.
that.
Yes.
I got a pair of earbuds.
Cinema at its
I got a
end.
pair of earbuds.
Yeah, that is gonna do it for this episode
no.
of Nerd Talk. Had fun with this one.
Yeah.
Very divisive, but it was a very lively discussion nonetheless. If you guys enjoyed this stream, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Our views on our channel are absolutely immaculate, but you guys are not subbing. We're gonna need you to do that. That's important.
Only
Hit
50%
subscribe.
of viewers on
It's
this channel
free.
actually subscribe.
It's
It
completely
is
free to subscribe.
free.
Just
It
hit
is free.
subscribe.
It is free. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for all notifications for future Nerd Talk live streams. Next week our butts will be back in these chairs for a live watch along for Bad Boys for Life in anticipation for Bad Boys Ride or Die. I am very excited, and so is AJ for Bad Boys Ride or Die. Very excited for that watch along because we love that movie around here. Also,
I got that trailer to the new trailer for that today. And
oh yeah,
I absolutely loved it. I was dying.
Yeah, oh man, dude.
The alligator
Yes,
racist.
That's not a
and
real
by the way, Tyler, you can count me in for Bad Boys. You can count me in, dude.
Man.
Yeah, I
Love me
will.
some Bad Boys.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I'll try to be there if possible.
what was I gonna say? Oh, our RoboCop OVR will be dropping
Tomorrow.
To end the month. I'm very excited for that one because that was a very fun OVR that we did. And the June,
which are actually good movies.
the slate for June will be up Friday.
Yeah.
Friday or
At the
Saturday.
beginning of the month.
Steve,
One of
what?
these days. June is going to be a fun month, and we're going to be kicking off the summer for Nerd Talk. Very, very exciting things are on the horizon. So, look forward to all that stuff. Once again, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And we will see you next week for a live watch along of Bad Boys for Life. Everyone, have a great night. We'll see you next week.